be like, yeah, you're a Coachella guy. That's like actually like a burn.
It would be him.
Yeah, I think it would be.
Yeah. No. In a very big way too. It's like, that means something to somebody. You know what I mean?
If Seth said that to me, we're gonna fight. Like,
exactly. Ready to scrap.
Yeah, you take it.
I think I'd have some rose tinted glasses or something. You know what I mean? It's
oh no, not the pink sunglasses. Say it ain't so.
No. Alright, team, welcome back to the Scratch Record podcast. Today we are joined by a band that across the pond, I guess is what they all say in mainstream media, isn't it?
That's right.
As they say.
We are joined by an American indie up-and-coming band based in New England. We are joined by We Demand Parachutes. How are we?
Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome.
Doing well.
Here. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, man. It's so sick. We were just saying before we started recording, it's like the first time me and Joe have been in the same room for an interview in what feels like forever. Even though we're still on Zoom, obviously we couldn't do this one in person. We'd definitely struggle.
Yeah.
But
I thought about getting flights. We did think about it. The podcast budget isn't quite there yet, is it? We'll get there.
That's right.
So what's it like for you guys out there at the moment, and with everything COVID related and all that? What's the situation?
I think we had it a little better than you guys. Like we kind of started relaxing regulations like a couple months ago. In like May, things started to kind of start coming back to normal, and in like typical fashion over here in like Boston, it's just been a zoo everywhere you go. Like there's just 100 people occupying 5 square feet, no matter the restaurant, like everything has been mental. But from a music perspective, we're super excited because we got some shows coming up and we're going to get back to doing the damn thing. And we're pumped about it. So yeah.
New York has been similar. It's, I was mixing a punk show last night, right? Just out on a rooftop venue with probably 150 kids there. It was great. It felt awesome.
Wow, that's sick.
I'm still yet to abuse the nightclubs and bars reopening. We literally opened
Monday
when we're recording this Monday. So there were so many people that were waiting outside nightclubs and bars at like just gone midnight. And I'm buzzing to get back to bars and like gigs and vibes like that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy because I remember that feeling when it was like the first week for us. It was like, let's go out to eat. Let's like do this. And like every single other person in the country is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Luckily, most people seem to be vaccinated. It seems to be doing all right, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope
man,
so,
it was funny.
I don't think I could do lockdown again, man. I don't think that's for me.
No.
Yeah. Nope.
I think I'm past that point. I think I can safely say I think I'm fucking done with that shit, man. I can't be doing all that.
It's going to feel strange though, I think. Like, I think even talking about going out, like a few of our friends just said the other day, like we could go out Friday. And I was trying to think in my head, like, no, we can't. And then I was like, but we can't.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be being in like a nightclub with like even just a few hundred people. It's just going to feel really weird.
With strangers.
Yeah.
It does.
Strangers again.
Yeah.
Like, weird.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Everybody breathing each other's air. It's like, there's like, everybody's kind of weird about it too. It's like, stay away from me. But
But this is a music podcast.
Yeah, this is what we do normally. Anyway, let's get a bit more into it. So we're going to go a bit chronologically probably and get stuck straight into the band, into We Demand Parachutes. So how did the band come about? How did you all meet? What's the situation from the start?
Yeah, so we all grew up together. We're all from Maine originally, which is like the most northeast point of the States. And we all were playing in different bands, like in high school and stuff. Like we were always those kids that were like the youngest band at a venue, like loading in our amps and everything. Seth was in like some metal bands. I was in some pop punk bands, and Ben, our drummer who's not here, was in some of those bands too. So we all like knew each other, grew up playing, jamming. And then like around like college era, we all kind of went our separate ways. we went off to school and kind of just, stopped playing music together. I ended up in the military. And kind of fast forward a couple years, it was like I was deployed in the Army and like just didn't have that creative outlet. And like I started kind of writing songs and like, thinking about stuff. And I decided to reach out to these guys and be like, hey, like, what do you guys think about this idea? Like very, very like rudimentary ideas. And then immediately we're like, yo, this is cool. Like, and sent back ideas. We're like, what if we did this? And like, we started kind of sending these demos back and forth and working on stuff like totally in isolation. And at the time of the end of the deployment, it was like, we got to get together and like actually work on this stuff because it's really cool. And ever since then, we've been, making music.
Cool. I like that. That's a well-rehearsed answer is what that was. That was good. That was interesting. I like it. That was cool. I kind of want to pull it all the way back to the start of that answer because I think we were saying before, like, we're kind of weirdly naive about America, I think. Like,
the music scene for sure.
Music scene. I just think in general, it's like you grew up, where did you say you grew up? Was it Maine?
Yeah, Maine.
Yeah.
What is that like in general? Because I have absolutely no idea what that is like.
So
tell them.
It's funny that you say that, right? It's like we also, I think, were a little naive about how good we actually had it in the music scene growing up in Maine specifically. Because I think we assumed that it was like this everywhere, but like there was this thriving local music scene of like, punk and hardcore and pop punk and emo and stuff like that. We were playing shows in like kids' living rooms and basements. We were going out and playing at all ages shows at clubs. We had kids opening up mosh pits in living rooms and like hitting their heads on fireplaces and stuff like that. Like, and getting up and still getting back into it. So we had a lot of these sort of like hometown hero type bands that we really looked up to that were like doing the thing that we wanted to do. They were like, we could go and see a great show with 5 or 6 local bands, any given Friday or Saturday. And so when we saw that, it made playing music, especially playing music like in a group and in front of people, super accessible. So you would meet these people who all have the same interest as you and be like, oh, you play bass, you play drums. Like, let's make some fucking tunes. Let's try it out. And then you could, relatively easily get booked on like an opening slot at, one of these clubs like the Station or the Big Easy or the Wyndham Veterans Hall, playing before with these bands. Like, one was called Sparks the Rescue. We had one called Cambiata, one called Radiation Year. We reconnected with the drummer of a band called Land and Fall just recently, who like super weird that we like ended up reconnecting with this guy. And I was like, wait a second, I know you because I used to know all the words to your songs 15 years ago. So like, I don't think we realized just how good that we had it growing up like that, because we figured everybody was doing that everywhere, right? When you were 13, you would just buy a guitar and start doing your thing. But that obviously was not quite the case, but I think we were really lucky to grow up in that.
A little bit.
We lost him at the end, but I would echo that. Like we were super lucky, and it was just a really fun time to be playing music for sure.
So you lot were 13, did you say?
Yeah. I think we started playing together like 13, 14. Yeah, I think I picked up a guitar when I was 13. I think Kevin probably about the same.
See, that's fucking wild. Like round where we are in, not specifically Northampton, but even in England, like there is a few bands that are like 13, 14 that go out jamming, but they only really just jam. They don't really play like live shows. You never really see 13, 14-year-olds up on stage, especially getting the reception that it sounds like you lot got in your hometown. And that's, to me, that's crazy because it's so strict about how, like, especially like bars and pubs and stuff, like don't have a license when people are like underage. And it's like, that's fucking insane. Especially
the smaller venues in England are just not places for kids, are they?
No,
you just wouldn't allow it.
Yeah,
so just wouldn't be.
That is something I do want to ask, because we were talking beforehand, because obviously how naive we are about the music scene over in the States. Is there like shitloads of drinking?
So, yeah, that's a good question. I would say like not a lot. I mean, there's always like, so the drinking age is 21. And a lot of the clubs and stuff are 18 plus. Like that's a popular thing because it's kind of like, you know, if you're 18, you can come in. You might not be able to go to the bar. They do like the wristband thing. If you look like sense. Seth, who's basically looked like this since he was 13, like, definitely saddling up to the bar and get a few drinks for sure. But
yeah, right. I pretty much slid out with a beard, you know.
Yeah, that's great because where in England it's very much like everyone just goes. It's almost like everything in England is a reason to get pissed. Like I don't know whether you know that. Like, everything in England is a reason to like. You go to the pub and you go get pissed. You go listen to a band. You go get pissed.
Yeah.
Your mum's dying, you go get pissed. You know what I mean? Is that everything?
Funerals genuinely are.
Yeah, funeral like wakes just to piss up essentially. So it's like like that's probably why we never really had like young kids because that was like the music scene is known for drink and drugs in the UK, especially like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that was also something that was like kind of special about like where we grew up because all things considered, we grew up in a pretty small town. You know, like Portland, Maine is considered a city, but it's a very small city. And so I think that, you know, the community was pretty small and it was tough to get away with stuff like that, you know, like you might go out to a bar and the bartender knows your mom, you know? So like, if you know, you can't really get away with ordering a beer from somebody who like might know your parents or your uncle. And you know, it's like, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think that another part of that was like, people were just like really excited to be able to like go and play music, you know? And so like, we were just happy to be in the room, right? We were psyched to be on a bill with these bands that we looked up to so much that we didn't really care, you know? We were just trying to play music and act like idiots, you know, didn't really care too much about getting drunk or whatever else.
Yeah, that's what it's all about though. That's what it's all about. But I think like our whole culture isn't always about the music, is it? As you're right. It's like it's more about the event. Yeah. It's like, sometimes there's a band playing, but it's more just and it's used to be in the pub early. And that's why I think like in America, sometimes it does develop so many good artists because people go to genuinely watch music, the band and listen to the music rather than just sort of hear the music is more of a side piece. I think it's quite an interesting juxtaposition with that.
Yeah. Oh, I've been to gigs and not remembered the band.
Oh yeah.
I've been to events where I've not remembered the band I've paid good money to go see because I'm too off my tits. Like, and which is so strange when you think about it, because I used to do it where when I was younger, I used to go and not drink at all. Like my thing would be, I'm here for the event. Like I'll do that until I did it once. And then it kind of went a bit south. Because then I just did it every single event. Like as soon as I turned like 17, 18, like we just kind of, and drink started being so accessible, we just started just getting fucked up, really.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay,
you guys have that younger age limit too, so it's kind of like,
our drinking age limit here is 18. So it's like, and to be honest, in reality, we all started getting pissed at like 14, 15 in fields and back gardens off of like your mum's gin and switching it with water and all like the classic tricks of just sort of
I mean, I'm not going to tell you that we didn't do that, but
yeah, exactly. It just, we had to do that until we were like 20, basically.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
It is crazy.
Though
we would have only been drinking for a year.
I'm 20. I am 21.
You're 21. I'm only 22.
I'm still only the age that we would be allowed to drink. That's fucking crazy,
insane, man. And it's been COVID, so you really wouldn't have had much going on.
That's mad. Like there will be some people in America then that are like nearly 23 that have never had a legal drink.
Right.
Oh man. Dude, drinking is like all I did in the first like 6 weeks. So I was like, well, I gotta stay at home and the corner store is open. Guess we're getting hammered.
I know. When you guys are describing the music scene, I'm like, whoa, it's time for a field trip. Let's
tell you. If you boys come across, let us know ASAP. Like you've got a place to stay here. We could just get on it for like a week.
Oh, we will tear it up. Absolutely. Absolutely.
100%.
That'd be outrageous.
Well, I want to fast forward it a little bit, and again, another kind of not as music related, but we'll make it. But you said you both went to college. I was going to say uni, not uni, college. So where did you both go, and what did you get into? Like different music scenes then? Did you go to like bigger cities, or how did it change?
Let me first say, if you guys want to throw anything at us like uni, you guys should just like dump it on, and we'll just do our best.
Throw it at us, and we'll catch it. We will totally catch it.
I'm not going to worry about it anymore.
So for me, I went to the University of Maine, which is a state school, and I got a degree in international relations that I did nothing with, and immediately went into the Army. But now I'm out and I'm getting a degree in business, which is really fun at Northeastern University. So still technically in college, but yeah. And Seth, different.
Yeah, I ended up at Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts, and I studied music production and engineering there. And then once I pretty much finished my degree and jumped on a tour bus as a production assistant with a band called The Knox, which is like a indie electronic artist who I was a huge fan of, and then became good friends as well. But I kind of, I got a degree in studio sound, but then fell in love with making live shows happen. And so I had been chasing that career path pretty much since then.
Oh, cool. So was the music scenes at college very similar to the ones that you had in Maine, or was it something that completely changed, or did you not delve into it as much?
So I'm sure it's very different for Seth because it was a music college and he was in Boston. But for me, it was like nothing. Because the University of Maine is in northern Maine, so it's literally like it's just like a drinking Olympic school. Like there's woods and like there's nothing else, and everybody just like goes to house parties and gets shit faced. So the music scene was unfortunately terrible up there, but I'm sure it was super different for Seth.
Yeah, Boston's music scene is really weird, man. Especially when I was there, and like I think that my perception of it got tilted a little bit because I was part of the music school that was there. But there's like two pieces of it, right? There's a really interesting, like sort of like underground electronic music and like rave scene that like we have some good friends who are pretty prolific in that scene. Shout out to our buddy Hudson, aka Wubson, who is always doing crazy shit in the Boston music scene. But so like I would like go out to like raves with him and have really good times. These like underground warehouse parties and stuff. And like there was we would throw like warehouse parties for New Year's and for holidays and long weekends and stuff like that. Then on the other side, especially for live bands, there was this weird phenomenon where there was so much talent in that city that it would be like oversaturated with people who wanted to play shows. And so it would be really difficult to get booked anywhere because there would be all of these bands comprised of these incredible musicians who wanted to get on a show and were maybe not very interesting to watch because they were really good at their instruments, but like that's about it. And then as soon as they would get a following, right? Like maybe they formed their first year in a 4-year program. As soon as they get a following, everyone in that band would disperse and go someplace else in the United States, right? Because everyone would graduate, they would age out of the system and leave. And every once in a while, there'd be a band who was like really good and they would like collectively move to LA or collectively move to Nashville or, or New York or what have you, and like try to pursue it. Or like, there are a handful of artists that started in Boston at Berklee and then blew up, bands like Passion Pit and MGMT and people like that, like, but those success stories are really few and far between. And so it almost created like a vacuum for talent that you could really follow and like sink your teeth into, because it was tough to get a show. There were a lot of bands, but not a lot of them would stick around long enough to do something meaningful. So kind of at least my experience was kind of split in that way.
Yeah, that was really interesting, to be fair. Like, I guess like that's why it's weird. We don't really think about it. And from like our point of view, I'd never think about Boston and having a music scene, but I guess it was a bit like what Northampton is and places like that in the UK, where like you get some really, really good local stuff, but there is that ceiling to the place. Like,
yes,
you can play, as you say, you can be a good band for a year and you'll play the biggest venue we have in Northampton. That's like 800 people. You sell it out, amazing, and it's like it's done.
Yeah.
So then, right, what do you do? Obviously, you can do UK tours, or you move to London or Manchester or whatever, and you try and up the levels.
Right.
But it's like it's kind of a shame because Northampton itself doesn't get to enjoy the talent that it grows, and I think it sounds very similar. And obviously, like Boston is on a massive scale compared to here, but it kind of all lines up with the size of the country.
Yeah,
so it sounds kind of similar. It is a real shame, but it's kind of don't know what the solution is, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like in Boston, I think people made the best of it. You know, I think that's why there was like such a prolific rave scene. You know, I think there are a lot of kids who just wanted to do their own thing. You know, just who like didn't want to have to deal with, you know, people graduating or aging out or whatever. So they would just start DJing and producing electronic music and maybe doing it as, you know, one singular person, or like you and your buddy who are like successful collaborators. And so I feel like that like electronic scene was almost like a pushback to what people were experiencing with like the live, like more of like a live band scene.
I think that's very similar to some places in the UK too. Like we have, like up in Leeds, we have a massive, where I live at uni, we have a massive rave scene. Like the rave scene's like, it's stupid. And like, yes, we do have like an indie music scene, but it's a very similar scenario, and where there is like small venues, but then the next big venue is too big almost. Like you can't like, you can kind of like grow through the projects of getting like a 90 room pub to like then a 150 room like small venue to then a 300 room, but then the next one's like 4,000, and then the one after that's the 40,000 arena, and it's like where like it's quite a difficult position. But the rave scene is something that I think for some reason I think everyone enjoys. Like I don't feel like there is like a specific niche. Like at uni, I'd go to a rave scene and there'd be one of my mates did like aerodynamic physics. So one of the smartest blokes I've ever met, outrageously smart, but still fucking loved the rave scene. Like was like banging there, like on it whenever it was like a big event going, was like on it. And I'm like, this is like how my world, like I studied philosophy, so raving and philosophy kind of they kind of have a hand in hand with a couple of things.
A bit of a symbiotic relationship there,
but yet you go in and there's people that are like further maths and mathematicians and these like crazy different scenes that all just kind of collide over electronic music. And I think we're starting to see that in the UK with like Indian alternative now, where it's starting to become a bit more of a regular scene. I think we've noticed it with America specifically, with their pop punk scene seems to be having this like rejuvenation. It's like revitalizing the scene. It's becoming a new thing with something like Machine Gun Kelly's album.
Yeah, for sure.
He dropped that album's fucking unbelievable. But he's gone from within the space of 12 months from doing diss tracks with Eminem to dropping this pop punk anthem.
Right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and suddenly you get like Olivia Rodrigo coming out with Good For You, which has like the same DNA. You've got, you know, even a guy like Kenny Hoopla did the you know, the Survivor's Guilt mixtape with Travis Barker, and like it's totally having this little renaissance right now.
It is. I feel like Travis Barker's got his aura in fucking everyone. He's out here. He's just there like stirring that pot. He's like, come on, Willow Smith, you need a pop punk banger.
Every week he's got news.
I think you're absolutely right. I feel like Travis Barker is like pop punk's Puff Daddy right now. You know, he's just like getting his hands and everything, putting everybody on and getting a piece of the pie.
Yeah, he's the puppet master, isn't he? He's just dragging everyone up with him. It's really cool to see, and that's why I think like with the Olivia Rodrigo stuff, and I think a lot of the reaction kind of over here is maybe that, and probably in America too, that it's kind of this TikTok kind of cringy stuff.
Oh, she's a Disney girl.
Like, she's a Disney girl making, you know, Driver's License was a TikTok song that blew up. Yeah. And I think then if you've got to be open-minded, and when you actually sit down and listen to that album, and that Brutal song was the first one that I like put it on, and I was like, okay, this is not just a Disney girl doing TikTok songs. This is actually a really musically brilliant
artist.
Yeah. Like pop punk America. It was just the energy. It's so good. And I think that sort of stuff being the most popular music in the world right now is only good for like our sort of scene.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's exciting. But, and I mean, talking of pop punk music, maybe we should get into We Demand Parachutes now a little bit.
Hey, sure. Look at that seamless transition.
Wow, that was what a segue.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not our first one.
It's not our first rodeo.
Yeah. So with We Demand Parachutes, these releases, so have you pretty much just been a lockdown band then since it actually formed in this sense? That's crazy.
That's actually a funny question. So like we played 3 shows before COVID happened. So it was like, it was just starting to happen. Then it was like, everything kind of sudden stop, and it was a bit depressing for us too when it first happened. Cause like there were some things on the calendar and some people that we were like going to be working with potentially, that would have been really big for us. And we were like, kind of like, this whole thing has screwed us, whatever. And then we kind of, came to our senses. We're like, we got nothing to be whining about. Let's just get back on our bike and hustle and, try to write some good songs and get together as soon as quarantine's over and just do our thing. And ended up writing Ketamine during that process. So it kind of comes across as this kind of angsty song. And it was us dealing with our difficulties in lockdown, but kind of coming out of it like on top. And now we're super pumped because it's kind of like the live music scene, as far as it seems to be, fingers crossed, is just everybody is so excited to get out there. It's like we just announced this great show a couple weeks ago with Driveways, Sharia Moore, and Hello Atlantic, and it's already sold out. It's a 200 cap room, so like we're stoked about that. We don't even have to worry about ticket sales anymore. We can just start promoting the next show, which is happening up in Maine. So we're like basically trying to sell that one out. So it's just exciting. Like it felt like there was that like pause, but I feel like we kept super busy during it and have been able to kind of just come out of it swinging. So that's kind of our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, right now there's 2 tickets and a pair of Kevin's used underwear on eBay that's going for about $100,000 American. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to finance the rest of our releases.
We'll keep notes on that one. I want to ask you a little bit about that Ketamine song, right? And this is, I don't know whether this might be the rave scene coming out of me, but is that song actually about ketamine?
So I was in an interview just the other day, and I thought this was really funny that I was basically like, listen, I've never done ketamine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're like huge drug users. And then I was like, no, Seth was in this interview. It must be a different story. And
now here he is.
And now here he is. So
I'd tell you that I hadn't done it, but I'd be lying to you.
Yeah, me too.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, the song, the lyrics and everything are just kind of about, just wanting to do right, but continuing to just fuck up and trying to overcome that. And it's kind of that cathartic, like anthem of like all the things that were going on, whether it be COVID or like gambling or, drugs or alcohol or whatever, and just trying to get through it. But there are definitely some funny behind the scenes stories for sure.
Oh,
if we make it over, I can't tell you on the air, but if we make it over to England, get a couple of beers with me, I'll tell you some stories.
Yes, I'm all over that. A couple of stories, a couple of beers, and I'll definitely pull the microphones out of some.
Exactly. There we go.
I'll be like, well, we've got the beers in.
There we go. Part
brilliant.
2.
That's class, and that is a great song, and that's one that you found.
That's the one I found. I don't even know how
I don't know. I think it was Instagram.
It was.
I feel like you came up on our.
It was a promoted post.
In stories, and you were like, you put in a playlist, and we were like, this song is fucking sick. And I mean, you're addicted to Ket anyway, so that's.
I'm not addicted to Ket.
That's why it's got so many streams.
Yeah, literally no one else has listened to it. It's just Elliot high on his own in his room playing it.
Exactly, it's high at 4:00 in the morning, just running that thing back.
I love it.
All alleged. We always say on this podcast that only 75% of what we say is true.
Yeah,
Take everything
right
what you want. But
yeah,
no, it is a great song. Like it stuck out massively to us. Like all of your back catalog's really great, but that one just feels like it's just taken that extra step above where you're like, okay, no, these are actually a really seriously good band.
Thank you. We appreciate that, guys.
Thank you.
It just hit 50,000 streams today too. I was just looking at it and super pumped about that. So let's go.
Yes.
Wild.
That's really cool.
That's crazy. Can we move on to this new single then?
Right. Cool.
This Lost Our Mind. I do have another question about this this one, and it seems like a very deep track, so I don't know whether I might be sticking my foot in wrong places. But there was one of the lyrics is, "I had a girl and she died." That first lyric opens up the track, right? Any truth to that?
So the thing I like to say about this song is, like, we all, like I said, we've all been friends for so long, so we all know one another's bad girlfriend stories. So this is kind of like the amalgamation of all of our bad girlfriend stories, but we just wanted to take it and just like turn it up to 10, be so outrageous with it. I think we could say that none of our ex-girlfriends have actually killed themselves.
No.
Good news.
So the way to think about that song too, and like that line is like, so like you always want to think about yourself as like the hero in your own story, right? But like you're always gonna be the villain in someone's story at least one time. So that song is kind of told from the perspective of somebody who is like, I'm the problem and I know it, right? And so like it kind of embodying this idea of like, I am the villain and I am aware of this, and like running with that theme.
I am glad that we've like kind of cleared that up, because every time it came on my mix and that first line hits, I'm like, I really hope there's no truth to this.
I hope he's okay.
It was something that was so blunt right at the start. I was like, surely there's no truth to this, because of how blunt you're like, well, I had a girl, she died.
That's it. That's what we're looking for right there. And of course, when we did the video, we had to go even further and have it be about this girl trying to kill me. And we just had a ton of fun with that. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, your videography is actually really, really good. Like I was looking through some of the videos earlier today, and I'm a massive fan of videos. Videography is one of my things, and I really enjoy watching your videos, and they come across really well. Are you like the masterminds behind it? Do you have directors that work with you? Is it all planned and produced by yourselves?
So believe it or not, it's all in-house, and we really have to tip our caps to Ben's fiance, Allie, who is the director and main shooter for all of our videos. We come up with the concepts ourselves. We kind of storyboard them out and like talk through them, you know, almost in the same way of like writing a song. But she really takes point on just, you know, taking the vision to where, you know, she's been working with us for so long. She knows where we want it to go. And she just kills it. And I think that we're getting better every single one we do. And it's just fun.
Yeah. Allie is an incredibly talented independent cinematographer. So any band who sees this, who needs somebody who is incredible at their job to fill that role, like we absolutely encourage you to get in touch with Allie, because she's an absolute visionary. She does an incredible job with everything.
I'm picturing being flooded with emails from like Scunthorpe.
Right on.
Blackpool. Yeah, we're a band from Burnley. Would you mind making our
We've got an idea of like my granddad in the pub, and
I'm sorry, boy.
We're gonna Benjamin Button this guy
for this one, but yeah, that's sick. And your stuff is so good, and I think you've really nailed it early on, which is something we've both always appreciated, of just having that like. Every post you do has like a We Demand Parachute's edge, like whether it's that like purple and green kind of style, that logo, some neon stuff going on it. You can just tell all of your single covers, videos, even if it's not really sort of like out there and obvious, you can just tell.
There's a subtle hint.
And I think that's something that's so important for a band of the level of being like, you need people to hear something and go, oh, I recognize that even if they've never heard it, or see a post and go, I know that's theirs, even though it's not clear, you know, and you've done that really well. So,
thank you guys. That's great to hear. Yeah, we appreciate that. Yeah. You got to have a theme. You got to have a brand for sure.
Yeah. This branding, like obviously the name is a massive part of it. The We Demand Parachutes. It really sticks to it. Is there a story behind how you came across that name, how that fell? What's the story to it?
Oh, there's a story. I'll let Seth tell it because it's his favorite story. But the preface to this story is that we always found it super easy to get together and write music, to send tracks, to like work on music. Like anything music was like easy to us. And then it was like, all right, let's take 5 minutes and talk about the name. And it's just a massive, like nobody can figure anything out. So like,
for like a total long time. Garbage. Yeah, that's unfortunately very accurate. But no, I mean, it came about, I think, when Kevin was in the Army. He was in jump school, right? He was like learning to jump out of airplanes. And I think I made some like flippant comment in passing. I was just like, yeah, don't forget your parachute, you fucking idiot. You know?
And then, yeah,
and, like,
I mean, in
just
the
started kind of like
conversation,
riffing on that for a second.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. And so like, it kind of spun out of that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. It was like, that's it. That's it. Wiedemann parachutes. That's got to be it.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be it.
I like that. That's really cool. That's a really cool story. And I think it does, I don't know, it's really unique. And that's weirdly difficult to have an original and unique name of a band. Isn't it? Like,
I also think that 3-word band names just aren't a thing.
Yeah.
Like that's something I think that sticks out so much for me with it. That there isn't many bands that are 3 words. It's normally either the something or 2 words. But I really can't off the top of my head name another band apart from Red Rum Club that is a 3-word band. And it's plus WDP is nice as well.
Yeah, and there's 3 of us.
Our name is like, I want it to shorten nicely, which it does. So that's cool. Yeah, that's really good. That is really cool. So what is next? Like, what's the goal? Because again, we were sort of talking about what we don't understand. Like in the UK, we kind of understand where everyone's going, what they'd want to do. Like,
because there's almost a route, isn't there?
Yeah, like we sort of know you've got this pathway to go down. Like, how does it work for you guys? Like, are you like, right, as you spoke about earlier, would you want to say, right, we're all going to move to LA or we're all going to move to New York and try and make it? Or is it like a other route? Is there other ways you want to measure the success, or is it just see what happens?
Yeah, a couple of different things there. It's like we were just looking at the calendar as a band recently, and like we've got something going on like literally every weekend, which is awesome. And like the crazy thing is we have several songs right now too that are finished, and it's just about like how we're going to release them, how we're going to support them with video and stuff like that. And we are actually talking to a couple people that are like management and potential labels. So trying to see how that all shakes out, and not sure right now. So like there's a lot planned and a lot coming, but we're kind of just taking it day by day and really enjoying kind of everybody's reactions to stuff and trying to grow from it and grow as writers and just keep moving forward. I think what you definitively will see from us this year is going to be a lot of live shows, a lot of new music. We're definitely going to be dropping some more singles before the end of the year. And then down the road would be like a larger body of work for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think our big focus this year is just like we have been so hungry to play live shows. We've got a lot of music that we're ready to release, but like we're trying to get it in front of as many people as we can, because it's been way too long since we've been able to like be in a room with people, playing live music and having a great time.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. So what is like the dream gig that could come up for you guys? Like if I said,
man,
you can pick any venue at all
and you'll sell it out, guaranteed.
You're guaranteed to sell it out. Like, because this is again, I'm trying to get into my head. Like, it's just, I just know where it'd be here, but like, where would you choose that to be like your holy grail of gigs?
I've got 2 answers to this in particular. So for me, I'm torn between Webster Hall in New York and the 930 Club in DC. And I've done sound at both of those venues a number of times. They're great sounding rooms, but they're also like, they're 2 just iconic venues. They're places where all of the bands that I love have played and sold them out at some point. I can't remember if Webster Hall does this too, but I know that the 930 Club does this. The 930 Club gives you like a special like thing of cupcakes if you sell out the 930 Club, and it's this like coveted thing to get the 930 cupcakes when you sell out a show there. And so like, yeah, either of those venues would be really cool. And like the honorable mention would be the Independent in San Francisco. Like I've also worked there a bunch of times, and just another great sounding room. And like it's a big, small room, if that makes sense, right? It's like a 750 cap room, but it has like a balcony space and it feels huge, but it's still nice and intimate. Great sounding, great PA, big stage, like just a lot of fun to play there.
Oh.
Yeah, a little different for me. Like those definitely on those and like the acoustics and everything. I just feel like I really want to play an outdoor festival, like a big festival. That would be like my holy grail. Would be like a huge multi-stage festival with a bunch of really cool bands. To the point where people have to like choose what they want to see and you know, figure out their itinerary. And we're just like ripping around on golf carts. Like that's my dream for sure.
That does sound sick. To be fair, that does sound really good.
I want to do an American festival. Potentially next year.
Yeah.
Really want to do an American festival.
You should.
Because like in the UK, like we were saying, like everything's to do with drinking. So it's just essentially it's just one big kettle. It's just like everyone's just a state. It's muddy, it's wet, it's cold, it's a little bit miserable. Yeah. Still loving life.
It's a little bit miserable, of course it is.
Yeah, it's always wet and miserable here, man. Like,
that's what we like. That's what
a bit miserable.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas, in America, it's more like a holiday vibe. I get like, I mean, I just picture Coachella, but like, I know there are better ones than that we could go to because I don't think it would really suit us. But
I'd be down for Coachella.
You'd suit him more.
I'd suit it.
Yeah, you would suit him.
Rolling round, I'm got a nice cigar or something. Flowy shirt or some shit. Like,
I've got.
Yeah, I'm not built for Coachella.
That's almost a burn. That's like if you say that to your friend in America, if you're like, yeah, you're a Coachella guy, that's like actually like a burn.
It would be him.
Yeah, I think it would be.
In a very big way too. It's like that means something to somebody. You know what I mean?
If Seth said that to me, we're gonna fight. Like
exactly, ready to scrap.
Yeah, you take it.
Yeah, I think I'd have like some rose tinted glasses or something. You know what I mean? It's
oh no, not the pink sunglasses. Say it ain't so.
No, I'd turn up, and everyone would be like, "Who the fuck is this English?
Who the hell is this?"
And I'd be very. Yeah, they'd be like, why is he wearing like really high-waisted trousers?
Really high-waisted trousers.
It's 40 degrees out. Like,
you could get away with anything in America though if you're British. Like people just love the accent. And it's just it's like whatever, do what you want.
I want to see if that's real. I want to go out and test it.
Yeah, I've heard that rumor, but
yeah, I've only ever been to the States. I've been to the States a couple of times, but I went on like with a big group of other English people. She didn't really mix with Americans, but I do want to kind of go out and just kind of bounce around, do some interviews and stuff like that, and go out like almost on like a podcast trip, do some gigs, hopefully promote some gigs and stuff. Really want
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
You should, man. Yeah,
I mean,
hey. So guys, I have to jump off here because I have to head into the city and catch a ride up into the woods in Pennsylvania this weekend.
That's the coolest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm fucking sick. That's Seth, mate. You're doing up there.
I'm going. So I'm going off the grid for a couple of days. Yeah. No, hell no.
He's going to the woods, man. He can do what he wants.
Right,
Just bring him down, Kevin.
I'm taking the shirt off. I'm
chopping wood and
let him live free, man. Like you can't just try and restrict a guy like that.
You can't manage me, Kevin. I cannot be managed.
Thank you, Seth. It's good to meet you, mate.
Hey, you too, guys. Thanks so much for having us, and hope to talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Definitely,
Thank
Seth.
you, mate. See you later.
Cheers, mate.
Awesome. Take care, guys.
Take care, bub.
Right.
Bye.
In classic Steph fashion, I was going to say, I have no idea really where he's going or what he's doing in the woods of Pennsylvania. Like, and he's not a woods guy. So like, that's very strange to me.
He's been everywhere. Like he's literally like, he just kept naming places. Like, yeah, I've worked here. I've been there. I've done that. It's sick.
Yeah. He likes to travel for sure.
And America's so fucking big as well. Like, but if we say like, we can say places and be like, oh, we've been to this city, we've been to this city and this city. But it's like, I live in Leeds, which is like only 100 miles from here, but that's pretty much up the country.
That's most of the country.
That's like most of the country. And then like Brighton's the other side, and that's like, again, a 2-hour train from here. And it's like either end of the country. I'm there.
Boston to Maine, basically. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's wild.
It is crazy, man. It is crazy. Well,
Well, I want to touch on your. If you still got time to sit about.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm not going to the woods, believe it or not.
Well, I want to touch on your time in the military because it sounds like it's been it's obviously a big part in everyone's life. Like, what were you doing in the military, and almost how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I was studying international affairs in college, and I did a year abroad in Turkey. And I met up with some really cool dudes there that were American. They were stationed there. And I just kind of decided it was like there's a bit of a family history of military service in my family, and just felt like something I wanted to do. But I wanted to do it like as much as you could do it because I'm just that like type of excessive person. So what I did was a route called the 18X contract, which allows you to basically go to airborne school and then try out and go to selection for special forces. And then if you make it, you go all the way through the pipeline and then you join a team as a Green Beret. Fortunately, I did make it, and I was a Green Beret in 3rd Special Forces Group and did a couple of tours in Africa, actually. Wow. And I was in for about 6 years, actually, total. So, yeah, it was a great experience. Met some awesome friends and learned some crazy stuff. And, now I'm going to business school because, what the heck?
Why not? Yeah, that's
exactly.
Cool.
Why not? Yeah.
I want to touch on a tour in Africa just a little bit more. What was that like? Like, have you got any stories from that time? Anything crazy?
Oh my God, it was so wild. I mean, we were there doing kind of a number of mission sets. Foreign internal defense was kind of one where we were basically training partner forces to go in and basically combat various like terrorist organizations within like cross-border activity and stuff like that. And some other stuff that, I won't get too deep into, but it was an awesome experience, and, kind of a lot of learning lessons, a lot of like risky stuff. And like to this day, I kind of like, I still have to have those like risky things in my life. Like I have to go like to a casino and bet it all or whatever. Cause it's like, it was just such a thrill ride, the whole time being in, and I do miss it to some degree, but, yeah, it was crazy.
Yes. Do you have any sort of like, as you say, now that you're sort of back in normal life, so-called, like, I imagine going from that to being into almost quarantine, it's like total opposites. Like, that's such a big jump to go from that to literally not being able to leave your house. So, like,
yeah,
did you struggle with that at all? Like, was that a weird experience?
I definitely did. I think kind of like everyone did, but like in America, like I will say, like, we're really bad about like listening to rules. So like people were, seeing each other, and people were traveling, and like we were doing stuff. Like I went up to Maine for a little bit and like, stayed up there with my family, and like, was just hanging out at the beach and stuff and taking the dogs out. So like we got through it. But it was definitely a weird year. The nice thing is I got to do a whole year in grad school before COVID happened. So I kind of like was able to get to Boston, meet a bunch of new friends, like do a bunch of cool stuff in class. And then I've been in class and working during COVID, like remotely. So just kind of like, staying busy basically. But now it's just like, it feels like everything's fresh and new and revitalized, and, music's taken off. So it's great.
Yeah, it's the one positive, isn't it? Is that like, having a year off means that it's so much better at the end of it. So I guess it's kind of
exactly.
Exactly. It's going to be like after, what was it in what was the Roaring 20s? 1920s where
after Prohibition.
Mate, when everything went just kind of fucked. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I think everyone's just going to go off the rails.
It's a bit like the end of the 40s. Like there's just no recollection of the time from anyone or any history, because it was like World War II ended and then everyone just got fucked up for like 5 years. It was just like, we're alive. We got through this. So let's do it. Yeah, exactly. Like everyone just appreciates all that sort of stuff so much more. And like even Friday, like going to a shitty club in Northampton a few years ago would have been like, do we have to? And now I'm like so excited by the prospect.
It's like the best thing you do all month. Yeah, exactly.
Just the fact we're allowed is sick. So that's exciting.
I still don't know whether I want to go to a shitty club in Northampton.
You are one pint and
you do. Yeah.
It's almost like this nightclub, right? It is imagine the darkest, grimiest bar in where you're from in Boston, imagine the dirtiest, grimiest bar, and then shove a load of 18-year-olds in it.
Yeah.
And then make everyone a wanker. and then you've got this nightclub in Northampton. Essentially, is what it is.
Dreams are made of.
The music too? Is it like a music club with like live bands?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a proper nightclub. It won't be like, it's not like I wish you see all these videos of people in these like posh nightclubs, and that's I've never been to one where it's like where they come out with like the bottles and shit. Like I've never been to a club like that in my life, and I'd love to do it maybe once. I can't imagine it's my steez because I do like it a little bit grimy.
Yeah,
but like this nightclub's so far from that style of like bottle nightclub sort of thing. It's like
a big year 6 disco, basically.
Yeah. The music is just like a school disco. Like the music is so mediocre. It just has a really big smoking area. I think that's the thing.
Geez, yeah.
Got like a fucking huge smoking area that you end up like bumping into everyone you went to school with, because it's like the only nightclub in our in like a 40-mile radius, pretty much. Like, so just everyone goes.
I think like that quintessential like club experience like is not really for me, like the bottle service thing. Like I've done it like when I was in Vegas, like when I was in the military and we were training in Vegas, like I was there and I remember going to the bar and like just like you're saying, like they got the smoke, they got the girls with the bottles, all that stuff. I went to the bar and I like got 3 like beers for the guys and it was like your total is like $65. And I was like, no, I just had 3 beers. And they're like, $65. I was like,
fuck.
Oh, this sucks.
Oh my god, I thought London was bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay £5 for a pint. Like, I mean, let alone bottled beer too. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god. Crazy. Yeah.
Brutal.
No,
yeah,
we need to get more rich before we do that.
Yeah, we'll push Vegas a few more years.
Yeah,
we'll push Vegas away.
It is.
Vegas is stag do's. When people start getting married,
that's true.
This is like further down the line. People start getting married. People who've got money. Then we do Vegas.
That's what you got to do. Yep.
Yeah.
Send me the invite. I'm coming.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Oh yeah.
But you go to Vegas on a stag do, and
I'm gonna root for you. It's gonna be like The Hangover. Like I'll be the guy that's like, oh yeah, take a shot of tequila. It's like roofied.
It's just full to the brim of little pills. I'm like, fuck it.
With ketamine playing in the background.
Yeah. Live performance in the middle of Vegas.
Yes.
On like a weird hotel roof.
Yeah. Does sound good.
I'm definitely the one with the face tattoo at the end of it, though.
Yeah,
100%.
You're Mike Tyson in our one.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Mike Tyson.
You could do worse. Yeah.
There is worse people to be. Actually, there is much worse people to be. Right, we're going to push towards the end of the podcast now. I think we've got a new section that we're trying out for this series. We're not sure how far into the series it's going to go, but we play like a little game every season. We've changed it for this one specifically.
Okay.
And it's called Play, Stay, Throw Away. Woo!
Okay. That sounds good. Play, Stay, Throw Away. Let's do it.
So we're going to give you 3 iconic albums.
Okay.
And they are, you've got to either play it once, keep it forever and continuously play it as and when you please, or throw it away. It's essentially Shag, Marry, Kill, but
got you.
With music.
Okay.
So if there is any, I don't think you must. I think that you should know these albums. Are you
gonna like rapid fire them at me?
So I'm gonna give you 3, and then
cool.
Give us your answer, and then I'll give you. We've got 3 rounds of it.
Sick. Let's do it.
So we've got Blink-182, Enema of the State, Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, and Oasis, Definitely Maybe.
Oh God, that's tough. That's really tough. I really like Oasis, but I also really like Blink, and that is something that would be like a desert island album. So I want to say I'm gonna go Stay to Enema of the State, and then I'll do Play for Oasis, and then I've never heard that album, Ziggy Stardust, so it's gonna be Throw Away. But I'm gonna put that on my playlist because I haven't.
David Bowie.
Oh, dumb. Yeah. Okay, cool. Shit. Well, that's a tough one. No,
it makes it even harder.
I'm gonna stay with what I got. Yeah. Sorry, Bowie.
Sorry, Bowie.
I don't think I'll have much to say.
You guys are like, Podcast is over. Have a fun day.
Yeah, see you later, mate.
Just put Blink-182 above David Bowie. What a nightmare. Nah, I think that's gonna happen. That is a hard one, you know.
That is really tough, actually.
That's a tough one. You guys went for my heart, like my core, and then you also get. They're all good. Okay, let's do round two. Let's do round two.
Right, round two. We've got Machine Gun Kelly's new album, Tickets to My Downfall. Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins Not Tragedies.
Ooh, okay.
And Nirvana, Nevermind.
Oh man. I'm gonna do. I mean, Nirvana's like the core of everything, and Nevermind's just so good. And then Dave Grohl Oh man, I'm a huge Nirvana fan, so I'm gonna actually go stay on that one.
Yeah.
I'll do Play on MGK, because I've played it a ton and I love it. That's a great album. And I love all the co-writers on that. Really good. And Panic at the Disco, sadly, is going to be a throwaway, unfortunately. Although I do love Panic at the Disco, but that third place.
Yeah, I do agree. Actually,
I think I might be similar to that. I think my stay might be Machine Gun Kelly. I've loved that album. Like,
it's really
to the point of where I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I have done. Like, that album is unbelievable.
I think,
and it's an album too. It's a start to finish like body of work with like themes and stuff. It's I hear you.
I think I kind of actually agree, because if we were just rating them and being like, what's the best? Obviously, Nevermind is like not obviously. I mean, you can think what you want, but I'd say Nevermind is a better album. It's so iconic. Right. It did so much. But
it's just if
you were to tell me I have to listen to only one of those for the next week, even I would pick Machine Gun Kelly's, because like I've heard Nevermind and it's amazing. But like, I don't know, it's so new and fresh, isn't it? So you just want to get some more stuck into it. So yeah, I do rate that.
Nevermind also has Smells Like Teen Spirit and Lithium on it, which are sick, and Drain You. So that's just a really
it is an outrageous.
It's a packed album.
Yeah, that MGK album though, that and Girlfriend's self-titled album, them two albums, I don't like. They are, you know, when you get like your songs of 2021 or whatever, and you kind of like, it shows you all the songs. It's literally just them two albums in mine.
Yeah. Is the Girlfriend's one? Is the cover of that the one with the ear that's all pierced up and it's got the AirPod? Okay, yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, that album is class. Right, we've got one more round.
Let's do it.
Wallows, Nothing Happens.
Okay.
Arctic Monkeys, Suck It and See. Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory.
Ooh. Linkin Park is going to be the stay there, because I remember again listening to that one as a kid and just like, and Ben, our drummer, that he loves that album. Arctic Monkey or Wallows. I'm gonna say, I think so. I've already got my stay, so I'll do Play for Arctic Monkeys, because that's a good album, but it's not like rife with bangers. It's got like a couple, I would say, and then unfortunately, I think I'll probably toss Wallows. That's a tough one too, though.
Yeah, I think that Arctic Monkeys album is probably one of the lower rated overall. I think like that Suck It and See, like it's good, but it's quite heavy in the sense of an Arctic Monkeys album.
Yeah, which I like that better too. So that actually might be one of my favorite albums by them too.
I love that "Don't Sit Down Because You Move Your Chair" song that's on there. Like, that song like shows when he was starting to just go really creative lyrically and just not give a fuck about what he was saying or doing, and that song's kind of like, you can see the real start of it in there. So I do like that album for those reasons. But quality wise, you wouldn't probably choose it as one of their better ones. But
well,
there we go.
There you go. That is the new section.
That was tough.
Yeah. Play, stay, throw it away. I feel like I need a jingle.
Yeah,
for
we do.
it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I need like a radio style jingle for that one.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Like a play, stay.
We'll get Elliot to whip one up.
I'll get our boy to whip one up. We'll see what we can find. So have you got anything? We're going to like close up the podcast now. We have one more section that we quickly do before we end. And that is, we shout out an up and coming artist that we think needs a little bit more recognition in the scene, whether it be UK, whether it be America, like more recognition in the scene that they're not getting at the moment. So have you got anyone that you're listening to at the moment that's up and coming that you kind of want to give a shout out to?
And I'll bet you guys would like these guys. I have been promoting them like I'm their manager at this point, but they're called Fernway. They're from upstate New York. They've got 3 guitars, which is a very interesting choice, but like they do a lot of like complex kind of layering stuff. It's a very melodic band, kind of alternative rock, a lot more experimental than us, but they're really, really cool. They're called Fernway, from upstate New York. So I'll definitely plug them. And then another one that I've just been listening to a ton is an artist called Bil Murray, which is like a play on the actor's name, but it's spelled Bil. And it's a single guy who used to be in a hardcore band called Attack Attack, and he plays all the instruments, and it's like very, very cool. It's super alternative rock and just really kind of a little bit like Don Broco. I don't know if you guys listen to Don Broco. It's a little like that. Yeah.
Oh,
sick. Perfect.
We'll check them out.
Yeah.
It's nice having it's nice having like, because we always seem to find the American bands, and then when we get guests on, it's always like English bands. I'm like, yes, more American music, because I actually really like it at the minute. I'm like, brilliant, you saved me a job scrolling through Instagram trying to find more American bands.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. I think I should give you guys, though, a stay, play, and a throw it away, just to throw it back at you.
Okay, then.
All right.
If you got one.
Yeah, so let's do Don Broco, Technology, The Killers, When You Were Young, and The Kooks. What's their like main album called?
The Inside Out, is it called?
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah. With Naive and stuff on it. Yeah. Inside Out. Yeah. Inside In, Inside Out.
That's my.
So those are the 3.
That's my stay. 100%. The Kooks are my stay.
The Kooks are. Do you know what? The Kooks are a massively underrated band.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're a massively underrated band. They're
over here for sure too.
Good. Like, their back catalog's so good.
The Kooks and I like the Vaccine too. They're very similar. They're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
They are underrated in like the mainstream scene, like, but in the indie scene, like highly respected. The Kooks, so that fucking album is that Inside Out album is like one of my favorite albums from the British scene in a long while.
Yeah. I would definitely say that as well. And
okay,
what was the other one? Killers,
When You Were Young, and Don Broco, Technology.
Oh, I'd have to play Killers, to be fair. Do you know what? The Killers are another one that like they have those like Mr. Brightside and stuff that everyone sees as it's kind of like cheesy, but everyone fucking loves it. But when you actually listen to their music, like they're a fucking good band.
So good.
They are so good. So I think I'd have to play that and unfortunately throw away Don Broco, but
I think I'm the same. That Killers album, I think for us, especially, I think Mr. Brightside, that track is literally the theme tune for the end of every night out. Every night out. It's weird. It's the same for you lot because I think it must be every country. Nightclubs close with that song.
It's got like 1 billion streams. Like it's like it's a song.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I think it's got to be because Killers on a level like they are on for me, I see them as almost
legend.
Legendary. Superstar, like Coldplay. If they were still releasing tracks, they'd be on the Coldplay level, I think. It's that growth and that style of. I feel like they're like. I want to say they're pastel colors. If I was going to put them if I was going to like assign them to something, I'd say like Killers and Coldplay are like pastel colors, like very easily consumable. Everyone loves them. You can't have too much of it. It's like that'd be how I'd describe
Classic
them.
saying, can't have too much pastel, mate. Yeah.
I love pastel. I mean, for me, I love pastel colors. I'll wear pastel everything if I could.
Yeah, that'd be it. But I would nearly stay Killers as well. That's a hard one because they are fucking.
Oh no, I wouldn't even. Nah. They are my play. The Kooks album. That Kooks album is fucking. That Kooks album is fucking unbelievable. Like outrageously crazy.
That was good though.
Yeah, I like that. I like that people swing it back on us.
Yeah.
Any future guests do the same thing, man. I like that. I like that. It changes the tone.
Have you got any artists shout out?
I have. I'm going to shout out Molly Burman, who's a singer-songwriter style musician from the UK, I believe. And she almost does stuff a little bit like Pixie, a little bit like Olivia Rodrigo, that like style of like, some of it's got a bit of rock in it, some of it's got some real singer-songwriter elements to it. But there's a track that I've been listening to a lot at the moment, Debt, that she's released. And that song for me is something that really shows off her voice, and it's melodic, and it really takes you on a journey with her, but as well as having some upbeat type sections in comparison to the verses. The chorus is really like it's there alongside you, almost like fills the void that you miss in the verses. And I really like that one. But the other one I want to shout out, I think I'm going to have to shout out Ducks Limited. Well, it's Ducks Ltd. And they're another artist from the UK, but they're more I guess post-punk. It's that like new style of almost like spoken word over the top of like a bouncy beat. It's a bit like Feet, it's a bit like 14. It's that sort of style, but they put more singing to it in comparison to Feet and Courting. So they have a single out. I believe it's a single. It might be part of a bigger project, but 18 Cigarettes. I played it on the radio station a few weeks ago on our radio show. And yeah, I'm fascinated by that song. And the band is so unique that
cool name.
Yeah, Ducks Limited. Yeah, Ducks Ltd. Yeah, what a sick name.
Cool name.
I was just looking at it on Spotify. They got cool like album art too. This the last album they released is like a cool. I'm gonna check both these guys out, but that looks really cool.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Joe, have you got one for us to wrap us up?
I've got a few ones to rattle off quickly. I think I want to give a shout out to one that like wouldn't normally, but I think because in case there are more of an American audience listening to this that might not have heard of them, and that's Inhaler's new album.
Yes.
Because that is one of the greatest albums to come out of the UK in a fucking long time.
Yeah,
and they're one of the best bands to come out of the UK in a long time. And if anyone is listening to this and hasn't listened to Inhaler's new album, literally drop everything and do it now, because it is unbelievable.
Well, finish the episode out and give us a rating.
The last 2 minutes will be boring, but now. No, it's unreal. So if anyone hasn't listened to that, do that. Again, for the American audience, I want to give Lou a shout out.
Yeah.
The stuff that he's doing, we've had him on before, and he is really going down a kind of very American pop punk route and taking a lot of influence from the sort of people that like you will do We Demand Parachutes. And if you like We Demand Parachutes, you will like Lou.
Yeah.
I've been talking to Lou, actually. I heard him on your guys' podcast when you did the episode and you shouted us out. And I listened to his stuff. He's really fucking cool. And we've been talking like, we're going to put a show together down the line. You watch.
I tell you what, if you want to get us involved with that, we'll happily promote it and work it out and get stages sorted and get venues booked, and we can get something sorted for that for sure.
Hell yeah. Dude, Lou is sick. Yeah, for sure.
So good. So check out probably Boys in Pink. I'd say it's still his best one, but he's got fucking loads.
This new one that he's got coming out end of the month.
Yeah, the next one is unreal.
Yeah, he played it to us in Birmingham. I think I can say that we were with him in Birmingham, and that T-shirt track is fucking nutty, man.
His
so
good,
so
good. So get on him. And then one last quick one that is actually a smaller one from the UK is Daisy Brain.
I like Daisy Brain.
And they released their debut track called Boring. It's their first ever song, and it's so fucking good. And it's proper like kind of indie pop, bit experimental. Like there's a lot going on with it, but the quality for like a debut track is unreal. So it's another one to check out.
I love that track, and I think his look and aesthetic is something I wish I could pull off.
Yeah,
like I stick out like a sore thumb anyway. I do have bleach blonde hair, but his whole grungy aesthetic.
Yeah, it's like a grungy blue hair.
Yeah, he's got like I've got bleach blonde hair, but like his is like this extra level. It's like much longer. He's almost got like a bob. But I'm 6'5", so I can't just. I stick out anyway. So as soon as I start dressing, like complete, like
too far.
Like I dress unique, but like as soon as I start dressing really unique, people are just like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Like, what is he doing?" But like, that artist is class.
Yeah,
very class. Well, there you go. It has been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
Hell yeah, guys. That was super fun. And one more thing I just wanted to say, like, thank you guys. Like, really appreciate the ones we haven't been on. You guys have shouted us out and like, doing the skits and stuff. it's been super fun. You guys have great content, and I always recommend you guys to everyone I hear, and try to get more bands on your guys' show because it's awesome. Thank you so much. And we had a blast, and I hope Seth survives his trip to the woods.
Definitely. We appreciate that, Kevin, mate. We really do. And we love your music and we'll support as much as possible. And I mean, I think you are genuinely dragging an American audience with you because we see it in the stats. So.
We have gone, I shit you not. We used to have like what, 2-3% of our audience was America. And our audience is like a decent size. We now are at 10% of our audience is American.
Double digits.
How? We can't work out quite why. And if you've been out there like spreading the word,
Virginia, Kevin, they're all in Virginia.
That's right.
I don't know why.
Virginia seems to be the place.
Shout out to you lot in Virginia.
We won't be able to walk down the streets in Virginia.
It's the CIA, actually. That's where they're at.
Yeah, mate,
you guys are like, we don't trust these guys, man. They're doing so much.
To listen to all of the bollocks I talk, man.
I love it.
For sure. We're gonna send you some flyers. You can hand them out.
Perfect.
Oh, mate, but it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. And if you are still listening to this podcast, make sure you leave a review and a rating. We are going to be starting it from next episode where we read out the new ratings that we get. And to be honest, I said it in episode 0, but I'm going to say it again. If you are an up-and-coming band and you want us to definitely talk about you, leave a rating because we will see your rating. There is less ratings than we get DMs and stuff. So we are guaranteed to see your rating. So leave us a 5-star review with a link to your music and we'll be definitely checking that out. Thank you very much for everyone listening. We are on YouTube, so leave a like, subscribe. And we'll see you all on the other side. Make sure you go stream with Demand Parachutes. Peace.